recording. And we are, we're almost done with the not far to go actually. And I'll just get that paper up so I can show you. Okay, great. So let's see. Shall we start with the prayers? Saraswati, maybe Alice, do you want to do the Saraswati? So you have can you correct those things you remember last time? And then Ariani, do you want to do the teacher?
Om Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Yarishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada.
So make sure you get that. Siddhir. Siddhir.
Siddhir.
Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunatu Sahaviryam Karavate Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvijavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
It came with the ice cream man. That was the ice cream man, Alice. In the background.
Rihanna soundtrack. I like this.
Yeah, or it could be any. Most likely, it was. He can sell anything, right? It could have been sweet or maybe who knows, something. All right, I'm just gonna share this and what. So I show this and hopefully this works. Yeah, perfect. Okay, here we are. What do you want to do? Shall we start a little bit further down so we can practice the new things a little bit more? What about from, feel like you know this one quite well. Maybe from here. So this is where you, yeah, let's do that. From here, Ariani, do you want to start? So, Prithvi Tvaya Drita Lokaha Devitvam Vishnuna Drita Tvam Cha Dharaya Mam Devi Pavitrang Kuru Chasanam.
Prithvi Tvaya Dhartalokaha Devi Tvang Vishnuna Drta Tvang Chadharayamang Devi Pavitrang Kuruchasanam.
Good, very good. You got the melody. Just be careful here. Also, it's wrong here. I think this sometimes things jumps back and forth. So, but Ariane, so Pavitrang. So make sure you end on guttural. Pavitrang, because then you get this, the kakara, this one, just flows into it. Pavitrang Kuru Chasanam. Pavitrang Kuru Chasanam. Do you want to do just this part?
Pavitrang Kuruchasanam.
Yes, great. And then Alice, do you want to do this one?
Do the same again?
Or we can continue. Let's do another one.
I don't mind.
It's okay. Let's do this one.
Argam arkam tu devanam Gamanartantu rakshasam Ghantaravam kur
This one. This one.
Kurve Ghantaravam tatra Devata Hwanalanchanam.
Good. Very good. Ariane, do you want to try?
Agamartam dewanam gamanartam rakshasam kurve khantarawang tatra devata vanalanchanam.
Very good. Both of you. This one, just make a note for this one, Ariane. This is also guttural. So you're learning on a. Okay, Alice. This one.
Gange Chayamune Chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jalesmin Sanidhim Kuru.
Just this one. Make sure that you get this dritvan, right? Because you have, even though there's, first of all, there's 2N plus a half matra longer. So you got this Sanidhinkuru. So it's very, like you really Sanidhinkuru.
Sanidhim Kuru.
Good. Ariane?
Gange cha yamune chaiva godavari saraswati narmade sindhu kaveri jalesmin sannidhim kuru.
Good. What was that? Narmade. So here you see you have this. You have a repa and a makara. You have two, and that means that you're staying half matra longer on the repa. Narmade sindhu Gange chayamane chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jalesmin Sannidhim Kuru. Just work on that one. Okay. Alice.
Deho Devalaya Proktaha Jivo Devasanatanaha Yajedanyana Nirmalyam Soham Bhavena Pujaye.
Good. Super. So it's amazing, huh? Listen to you now and how you move. It's just the sounds getting, and you know, the more you practice, the more you're going to get the sounds that you start noticing. You know, it's a constant. It's not like it's like a constant evolvement. Like you add, oh, you know, you're noticing, you're discovering things. Beautiful. Okay, Ariane.
Deho devalaya proktaha jivo devasanatanaha chajedanyana nirmalyam soham bhavena pujaye.
Good. Now, I think for both of you, next time, a reminder to remind you, you can start closing your eyes, because I think now you're very focused on when you're reading that you know getting all the but when you stop, because now you got it, you can start relax, and then you can bring out the sounds. Good. All right. So now, Alice.
Om Asmin Bimbe Shri Mahasaraswati Devye Dhyayami. Om Asmin Bimbe Shri Mahasaraswati Devye Avahayami.
Avahayami. Avahayami. Good.
Avahayami.
So it's not Avahayami. Just it was swara. So it is long. Avahayami. You got long, short. Avahayami.
Avahayami.
This one is long. Avahayami.
Avahayami.
Yes, hold on to that. Ariane?
Asmin bimbe Sri Mahasaraswati Devi Chayami. Om Asmin bimbe Sri Mahasaraswati Devi Avahayami.
Good. So make sure that when you do this, so you're not giving the length on the akara. You go straight, like you imagine that you're flying through the letters, and you got a akara, you got a saraswati, makara, right, and so on, and you just see that you're not staying you don't staying at the akara. You go straight to the saraswati land. As, and it's a dvitvan there, so you're actually dipping your toes in that land, on that island. So asmin, that's why you get this asmin bim, and the same thing happens with the makara on bim. So asmin bimbe. So sometimes, I don't know, anything that works for you, like just imagine like you don't stay on the akara, go straight through it. As. Can you do this, just this fun, Ariane? Asmin bimbe.
Asmin bimbe.
Yeah, much better. One more time.
Asmin bimbe.
Yes. You can stay a little bit longer on in Saraswati. Asmin bimbe.
Asmin bimbe.
Yes.
Thank
And
you.
a lot of times, what you in the beginning, you know, when we do the long and this kind of dvita, sometimes it's better to go a little bit longer, and then you can adjust it along the way, like as you practice, because we have such a tendency to go shorter than longer, because it's not natural for us. So and that's why the dropping the jaw is such a great tool to have. And I was contemplating, I realized that, because this is a big thing, you both do it, that's why I'm telling you, but if you notice other people, it's hard to drop the jaw, because you have a lot of there's tension here. If you're building up, you know, whatever it is, can be anything, like tension, or maybe someone told you from very young, don't speak up, or don't, you know, you have to be this, or, you know, so you learn to restrict this, and you see people like, you know, they're covering up, and they have this kind of like, you know, now just doing this is going to challenge that, because you're going to have to you're going to do something which you're normally not comfortable to do. And so you have sometimes you notice people, they're going like, oh, you know, there's like almost, there's some emotions coming up there, because this takes a lot of things to drop this. And if you notice, there is a part there when you're opening, but you're going beyond that point, and that requires like a muscle, like that there's like not naturally, you know, and there things start happening, and you know, it's a release, and all kinds of emotion. You know, if you ever sit and you know, like you want to share and teach others, and you have someone projecting on you, like, you know, you have someone's just throwing you tantrums or whatever it is. Just stay objective, you know, it's nothing to do with you, you know, it's just there's something in them coming up, you know. There's some kind of, and maybe they're just facing the biggest fear of, you know, speaking or chanting or speaking up, and it takes a lot of effort. So naturally the mind's going to be like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, you know, and then tears. But then, you know, step by step, it's just, they start relaxing, and they come
Yeah.
through it.
It's funny you bring that up actually, because I hold a lot of tension in my jaw. In fact, my dance teacher points this out. So this is partly why I enjoy doing this, because it's like, no, it makes me get in that time to make sure that I become conscious of this, and it makes me relax, because
Yeah.
she said when I'm dancing, she's like, are you breathing? You know, it goes to your jaw. She said, I can see when you're focusing because you do this.
Yeah.
So this is a reason why I really like it, because it makes me more conscious, and it brings
Yeah.
in the thing. And but yeah, it's, I also hear what you're saying about being at workshop space, because I think sometimes uh, for, I think it's a very real thing, but I know it can sort of go off into the realms of like woo woo and everything. But I think sometimes when you're in an unfamiliar space and you're going to do something, just the energetics of that space can bring stuff up.
Oh yeah.
And I, I have a slightly embarrassing experience of going to a woman's workshop, and it was really bizarre. I just walked in the doorway, and it was supposed to be one of these sort of women's festival things, and immediately I felt this surge of anger, and I was just like, this is not appropriate. What am I feeling? And so it's sort of funny, but sort of really, oh my God, what is this? And I
Yeah.
just, it's really bizarre. So
Yeah.
I don't know
What
what.
or not, you know, it's not bizarre, you know, it's natural. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah.
this
Yeah.
body is a house, isn't it? Is that the Rumi thing?
Say it
Is
again.
that what Rumi says, the poet? This body is a guest house?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the
Yeah.
one I was expecting.
It it has it's a beautiful vessel, beautiful vehicle. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so that's that, but that's a good thing, you know. It's a good thing that those, if they're able to come up in a safe place, if you are, I mean, that's the other thing, what you, and I'm sure you were, you know, if you have a teacher that can hold space and allowing you to for this emotion to come up in a safe place, you can face, you can look at them, and you can kind of see where, you know, follow the thread and see where it's coming from. If you have that teacher who can hold it, then it's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
I
but
think
but
it was
if, yeah.
so funny because everyone there was going, oh, peace and love and light and everything. And there's me going, rage. I didn't say anything. I just felt it. But I just thought, this is really bizarre.
Yeah. Yeah. That's I've been that's there's been you know, there's been especially here in Ubud, you know, there's a lot of this love.
It was all this.
And and you know, I'm very much in the Durga, you know, I have that in me, because I yes, there is a point where you got to go, and that's fear, you know, facing things, you know, you know, if it's only love, and love, then it can be really soothing and very nice and very enjoyable. But yeah, Swamiji always says, don't come to Vedanta if you're gonna feel good. You're gonna feel bad. You're gonna feel bad in the beginning, because all kinds of things gonna come up, you know, and you're like, oh, it's just like constant flow. And it's true, you know, and very few people stay with it, you know, most people just wanna, yeah.
sit on a cloud and do the lotus. This
And
is not.
drink, and yeah. Wow, it's so true. Mm. Yeah, it can be very entertaining though.
Oh yes, there was definitely that.
Yeah. All right. Okay, Ariane, are you ready for offering the seat for whoever you think? But maybe we can focus on Saraswati, for example. How would you say this?
Asana.
Yeah.
Asana samarpayami.
Very good. And then Alice for the feet.
Padyam samarpayami.
Go to Repaland. Samarpayami.
Samarpayami.
Good. Ariane?
Arjam samarpayami.
So here's a little bit. So you got the repa, and then you have a ga. So that's an aspirate, right? And a yakara. So a lot of things happening here. So here you have argyam, argyam. So give a little bit diaphragm, like you give a little gyam, gyam.
I try one more.
Try one.
Arjam samarpayami.
Good. We're gonna polish it, but so make sure when you can practice it, you can go the other way. So you go like, the first one is yum, right? Yum. And then you got this gyam, gyam. And then argyam, argyam, argyam. Samarpayami. Ariane, you want to try one more time?
Arjam samarpayami.
Good. Okay, Alice?
Achamaniyam samarpayami.
Samarpayami.
Achamaniyam samarpayami.
You're staying on the akara. Just do that one. Just do that. Samar.
Samarpayami.
Yes. Again?
Samarpayami.
Yes. One more time.
Samarpayami.
Yes. Okay, good. Okay. Ariane.
Madhuparkam samarpayami.
So make sure you go straight through, right? You don't have any long here. Here you got ma, do, ma, do, ma, do, and then put together madhu. Just do that one, Ariane.
Madhu.
Yeah.
Madhu.
And
Madhu.
then you got this repa again. You got to land on the repa, right? Madhuparkam.
Madhuparkam.
Yeah. Madhuparkam samarpayami.
Madhuparkam samarpayami.
Do one more time. Sorry, it was cut.
Madhuparkam samarpayami.
Yes. Alice?
Snanam samarpayami.
Yes. Now she got it. Very good. All right. Ariane, you know this one? Snananantaram achamaniyam samarpayami.
Snanantaram achamaniyam samarpayami.
Okay, so you got the second part you already got. So we're just gonna work on this one. So just see where you see the long a, just drop your jaw. So don't think about, just see like, okay, when I drop the jaw. Snananantaram.
Snananantaram.
Yes. Snananantaram achamaniyam samarpayami.
Snananantaram achamaniyam samarpayami.
Yes. Good. Alice?
Vastram samarpayami.
Now you went back.
Vastram samarpayami.
Ariani? Upavitam samarpayami.
Upavitam samarpayami.
So make sure you get the uppa, uppa, uppa. Upavitam. So you can go long on the E, but before that, that's not long. Upavitam.
Upavitam
Yes. And the whole thing?
Upavitam samarpayami.
Good. Say a little bit longer on your repa. Upavitam samarpayami.
Upavitam samarpayami.
Yes. Alice? So this is
samarpayami.
good. I forgot to write this here. Said it one more time.
Aparnam samarpayami.
Good. So just a little note. Make sure you fold the tongue backwards here, right? Because this is cerebral. Abharanam, abharanam, nam, and engage here then. Nam, nam. Abharanam, samarpayami.
Aparnam samarpayami.
Repaland, samar.
Aparnam samarpayami.
Ariane,
I didn't know the melody.
is this new? Yeah. Okay, so this is where you do the so here we have the ornaments. It can be anything like jewelries or necklace or crystals, whatever you want to offer. And this is where we have the sandal paste. So mine is oh, Alice, do you remember you asked me about the finger? I forgot. I wanted to write you, but then I realized that the explanation would be so long. So, and most people will probably be like, "What is she talking about?" Okay, so there's every finger has a name. So this is Agusta. This is your thumb. This is your Tarjani. This is the, you know, when people do this and you know that they do all the on the silver spot and they be like, oh, you know, they're putting most people, but this is Chinmundra. This is very profound meaning, but it's a meaning that is important. It's not like something happens just, you know, it's a meaning of that symbol, which is and the symbol is that, so Tarjani, your finger, this is a symbol of your ego. So you know, and you know what we have, like we're pointing our fingers, he did that, or he did that, like that's the ego. But when we turn the ego towards ourselves, then you know, and we're joining with Ishvara, we're joining with oneness, we get, you know, we all this thing that the ego thing, we drop the ego, and we're coming in and we can Ishvarize everything, you know, everything that we see, everything that we do, everything that we say, everything is divine. And then naturally we don't want to hurt anyone because it's a universal value. Anyway, I can go on and on and on about that, but that's a Chin mudra, that's the symbol. But then you have the three other fingers. now they can have different meanings, different symbols. So sometimes you can see the meaning like the three gunas, raja, tamas, sattvic, tamasic, rajas. So different the gunas, right? It can also have the meaning of the three sharira. You have the causal, you have the subtle, and the stula, sukshma, karana. So the different shariras. So you have the body, and you have the mind, and then the unmanifest of the body. So they can have different meanings. But these fingers also have names. So this is Madhyama. So this Ariane will understand that, because Madhya means middle in Balinese and Indonesian. Now, and this one, the little finger, is Kanishtika. This is like the baby finger. Now this one is called Anamika. 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 So it means no name. No name. So it's a neutral. It's a neutral. It's like, and I think that's what it's the reason, because it doesn't carry any. It's neutral. It's safe to put on your, So I think that's the reason why most people will use this finger for putting. But I don't know if that's a general thing, like if that's like, there might be other cultures or people that has another symbol, and they might use the middle finger, or they might not be it just, yeah. But I think that's what Swamiji said. This is the neutral finger, and the name is Anamika. So that's why you have this beautiful pujas where you have Angushtabhyam Namaha, Tarjanibhyam Namaha. So you have this, you're invoking the you have the fingers and what the finger represents and so on. So there's also pujas we can also look at if you want to. And yeah. Anyway.
Thank you so much for the effort in that.
Yeah.
So sure, like I knew the hands have a symbolism, but I wasn't sure how much of a thing they play in certain things. And I know with I don't like to call them idols. I prefer to, what are they called? Are they called murtis?
Murtis, yeah.
I prefer that
forms,
because I think it better describes what it is. Because on the murtis they've got different hand gestures or mudras.
mudras, yeah.
And it's part of what that means overall. So I've seen that, and well, you can see it on even Christian iconography as well, where all of these things come through, and we've just forgotten how to read to read it. So it's fascinating, and I wasn't sure how much of it played a part in this, but it's interesting.
Yeah, because a lot of the symbols, if you understand the symbols, they're all directing, it's not like you devotion to the idol, like some people think that, for example, the Hindu, that they are idol worthy. It's not. What is represent. And when you understand the symbols, it falls on immanent transcendent. Is it like it's immanent and transcendent, and that's where the that's when you go there, then the murti come, then you understand the murti, you understand the symbol. And yeah,
it's not a dead thing, and I think idol has certain negative connotations to it, and it doesn't have the appreciation of how the murti is a sort of an embodiment of the spirit, or not just a representation of it. It's there as a, for want of a better word, it's there as a tool to invoke that essence within you, but also that is within it as well. So it's not a dead thing. It's more, yeah, an idol doesn't really appreciate those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also was a really important, for my, like when I start, seeing things, was that, sometimes some people will, for example, there are Hare Krishnas, and they are in love with Krishna. They're in love with him. They love to, sing and bhajans and it's, that's beautiful, beautiful. Now, some people, it's like the baby Krishna, that they hold on to, and you have the same with other people that go, no, this, it has to be this way, and they love, and they have so much devotion, and it's beautiful. And then you have people who can see at everything is Ishvara. They look at the rice field and say, oh, what a beauty. And they can go to any kind of, any kind of and see everything as divine, or Ishwarizing everything, including yourself. Now that gives us such an, you see what that gives, that everybody, and including in there, you got all the earth religions. You can put any kind of religions in there. If you want to put Jesus and love Jesus, oh, what a beautiful bhakti, what a beautiful person, if you want to put earth, someone who's, I heard about some people who had this devotion for Alu, which is like a monitor lizard. Okay, let them do that. That's a beautiful devotion. Who am I to tell them, that you cannot do it. You should be my God. It doesn't make any sense. Why? If you're able to look at anything and saying, what a beauty, what a beauty, let them. I don't have. The worst thing you can do is to convert anybody and tell them you should not do that. You should, it's the worst. The worst. I mean, it's like the worst papam. It's the worst thing you can do to anybody, to go in and say, you are wrong, I'm right. The worst. And then, we see so many things like wars, everything going on. But you see how, if we're able to say, what a beauty, what a beauty, what a beauty, what a beauty. And then, then there are a few weirdos that kind of go like, yeah, but there must, what's there, and and they want to go deeper. And that's when, the knowledge, that you want to go, okay, but I want to know. I don't just want to believe. I want to know. And that's requires a teacher. Naturally, you can't do that by yourself. But anybody who has devotion is beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
I'm intrigued by the monitor lizard thing. That sounds amazing. Like,
I see if I can find that.
oh my gosh! Yeah. Wow. Well, there were salamanders were revered, weren't they, for his like deities of fire? So that kind of makes some sense, really. So why not? And
Yeah.
no, I'm just fascinated how certain things like, yeah, it all connects, but in different ways.
Yeah. And from there we can have peace. If we allow everybody to have their own bhakti, woof, beautiful, then we can't, it's impossible to have wars. It's impossible. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we are here, Ariane. So this is this one. This is how we got to talk about this one. And so this is a sandalwood. So Anamika, the finger. And this one is Gandhan Dharayami. Ariane, you want to try? So Gandhan Dharayami.
Gandhan Dharayami.
Good. Make a little bit longer on your dhan. Gandhan dharayami.
Gandhan dharayami.
Gandhan dharayami.
Gandhan dharayami.
Yes, hold on to that. Okay, Alice, do you remember this one? Gandhasyopari haridra kunkumam samarpayami.
Gandhasyopari haridra kunkamam samarpayami.
Repaland, do one more time.
Gandhasyopari haridra kunkamam samarpayami.
Yes. Ariani, this is for, so after this, you have the flowers. So what's important here is the tongue goes back. Pushpam, pushpam, samarpayami.
Puspam samarpayami.
So this is in plural. Sorry, I just noticed that I said in singular. So so this is pushpani samarpayami. It was my fault. So pushpani samarpayami. Try again, Ariane.
Puspani samarpayami.
Yes. And then this is, I think we did this last time. Dhupa magrapayami. So you got, this is tricky. So you got dhupa magrapayami. Dhupa magrapayami. Alice?
Dhupa, well, it's not a long one, is it? Dhupamagrapayami.
Good. Ariane, this is Deepam Sandarshayami.
Dipam sandarsayami.
So you noted that some of them have different endings, right? And that's because of the letters. So this, you have to make a note here. Okay, so the Deepam is different. Sandarshayami.
Dipam sandarsayami.
Good. See if you can get that Shiva out a little bit. Shh, shh. Deepam Sandarshayami.
Dipam sandarsayami.
Good. Now you did this really well. I know that sometimes when we focus on one thing, we forget the other one. So to see if you can do one more time now and get that long as well. Deepam Sandarshayami.
Dipam sandarsayami.
Good. Alice, do you remember this one? Dhupadipanantaram achamaniyam samarpayami.
Dhupadipanantaram achamaniyam samarpayami.
Okay, so the repalan, don't forget, but this one is pa. So dhupadipanantaram. Just do this one.
Dhupadipanantaram achamaniyam samarpayami.
Good. And this, Ariane, you're gonna know this because you've been chanting that as a baby girl. Okay. Bhur Bhuvasuvaha Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayate.
Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tat saviturvarenyam Nargo dewasya dimahi Yoyona prachodayate.
Okay, so one thing is when we saying it as a baby girl, we also have this samskaras. So look at this one. This is long. Bhur bhuvasuvaha. Just do that one. Bhur bhuvas.
Bhuvasuvaha.
Good. Tat saviturvarenyam.
Tat saviturvarenyam.
And make sure this is the cerebral. So nyam, nyam.
Nyam, nyam.
Good. Bhargo devasya.
Bhargo devasya
Dhimahi,
dhimahi
dhimahi.
dhimahi
Yes. Dhiyo yonah,
dhiyo yona
dhiyo yonah.
dhiyo yona
Good. Make sure you get that naf, naf. Dhiyo yonah,
dhiyo yona
naf.
na
Prachodayate.
prachodayate.
Good. Did we do this one last time? Is this new, Ariane? Alice? New, right? Okay, I'll show you. Just take a. So you have a flower in your hand and you circle it one time. And then when you come to the end, it's like you're offering to the altar. So here you already, this is for the food, right? So you said, thank you for all the food, for all the people behind the food, all the farmers, everybody who's make sure that this is the food. And you circle the food 3 times. Now, when you come to this part, this is the gratitude and for all the different pranas. You have different, you have like when you're breathing in, when you're breathing out, you have the circular system, you have the blood, you have the energy when you're actually leaving this body. There's a special energy that pulls you out of this body. So you have, if you didn't have these energies, you know, that you wouldn't, the body would basically no, you know, it wouldn't function, right? So you need this to breathe in, you breathe out, the circulation, the digestive system, all the pranas. So when you do this, you go Om Pranaya Swaha. So the Swaha is like when you're offering, right? Om Pranaya Swaha. Om Apanaya Swaha. Om Yanaya Swaha. Om Udanaya Swaha. Om Samanaya Swaha. Om Brahmane Swaha. So it's like you say thank you, thank you, thank you. And then at the end, you also say Brahmane Swaha. Because behind the body, behind all the pranas, behind all the energies, you know, there is the source of everything that is in and through. Just like think about space. Space cannot be divided, right? It's in and through. This body is 99% space, if you really think about it. So it's like what was it? The science the science can only do science on 6% of the universe. When you think about that, and then you go like, oh, there's something more out there. Okay, so this one is Alice. Pranaya Swaha.
Om Pranaya Swaha.
Beautiful. And this Ariane. Om apanaya swaha.
Om Apanaya Swaha.
Good. Om yanaya swaha. Alice?
Om Gyanaya Swaha.
So long one. Om yanaya swaha.
Om Gyanaya Swaha.
Good. Ariane? Om udanaya swaha.
Om Udanaya Swaha.
Good. A little bit shorter on the first one. So you got Om udanaya swaha.
Om Danaya Swaha.
This is your digestive system. Om samanaya swaha.
Om Samanaya Swaha.
Good. And then the last one. Om brahmane swaha.
Om Brahmane Swaha.
Good. All right. It's beautiful, huh? And you notice how much you have to open up here. It's like really swaha. So letting it's like the sound. And that's the when you're offering, swaha. So just open, let the sound come out, okay, so this is so now we're done here. We did the Gayatri mantra, very old, very special, very auspicious prayer, and then we did for
Very much, actually. It did some, I don't know why or how I ended up doing this, but I just thought, for some reason, I ended up looking at the Hail Mary prayer. I don't know if you've heard of that. And I did a comparison, and they're essentially the same thing, because the Mary part is actually from, I don't know, where did it come in? It came in the Middle Ages, because it was actually translated from the Greek, because in Christianity, for anyone who doesn't know, this whole thing about going into this has sort of made me look more at my own culture and roots. Anyway, so it's come through the Greek Orthodox, and you've also got Russian Orthodox and Catholic and all this sort of thing, and that's when it started going a bit woo-woo. But that from that translation, it's Mary is in reference to the feminine form of that word, of the universe and the material, which I thought, oh my god. So I was like, oh, this is amazing. But yeah, so I just found that fascinating, that the two, when you break it down, are saying the same things. It's just when one reads it in Christianity, we don't necessarily, I don't know, at least I didn't have that appreciation of it in quite the same way. But yeah, I found that link really extraordinary. So I just wanted to share that.
yeah, there's a lot of wisdom in Christianity that have been hidden. There's been a lot of, and that's the whole, I mean, oof.
The difficulty was in, I think, a lot of it because it's been translated, and certain words are used and certain words have taken on certain meaning, and it's not in the original language. So it's, and also we've lost that connection to spirituality because of how it was abused, basically, in Western culture for power gain rather than. But it's but I love that.
A good question to ask. A good question. There are many good questions, but is to why it's so, why, what is it, what is the, because there's obviously some kind of force that trying to push it down, there's some kind of interest, why, why is this the feminine, what the because if I'm not talking about the as that kind of the feminine, the material, the Saraswati, the dance, the art, the expression, the creativity, you know, something has been pushing it down, you know, for thousands and thousands. I mean, if you just look at the witches, the witch hunt in Europe, you know.
It's
And
strange. I've sought to try and understand that more, and I've been listening to a lot of storybooks that have been sort of historical around that time, and listened to things like that, because I just wanted to appreciate that better, I think, of how our culture, because I see I I see certain cultures like India and Bali who have this. It's been almost left untouched, pretty much, and I can look at it and think, oh yes, I can relate to that. But why can I relate to it? And I think when I went to India, I thought, oh, it's very easy to think, oh, the mystical East and how it has all this culture and spirituality. And I think there's also a misconception sometimes by some people there as well, who are just like, oh, you're from a Western country, it's all barbaric and everything. But no, it's not. We have our own culture and heritage. It's just a lot of that happened, was destroyed a long time ago, when actually, and I've had this conversation with an Indian friend and just saying, well, you know, you're so lucky. I mean, obviously with the colonialism, that's not so great and everything, but, and that's an understatement, but right at the beginning, that sort of thing happened to us right at the start. But I think it's not a bad thing. It's just, these are just patterns that happen within the world for a greater purpose or whatever, and I don't really know what that is. And it's given this beautiful contrast of, like, you could say, oh, the Western countries have this almost contrasting view of independence and freedom and everything, and yet they're sort of really hungry for this spirituality. And yet some people, some who are in these traditions and cultures, feel so suffocated by it that they want to find their own path. And I just think it's a really beautiful way of seeing how the two can complement each other, and the contrast, it's not about, oh, mine is better than yours. It's like, oh, actually, the contrast of this helps me to appreciate certain other things a lot better because of seeing that, I think.
And you know, you know, yeah, it's such a good point, Alice. And also, like, you know, like this is the 16 step puja, but and it is a beautiful puja. But you know, that's why I'm saying, if you have something that you resonate from your culture, you know, you can bring it in and you can appreciate it. You know, you can add a song or a chant, something that you know, so you don't go into this kind of like, because the thing is, in including my, you know, in Sweden, so much been forgotten, you know, not as it's there, but it was alive, it was part of the culture. And that's why I think Bali, India, you know, is inspiring, because it's still alive. But we can also, you know, you can have, you know, you have that curiosity and bring in, you know, and maybe other people want to join you and say, okay, I also want to learn, you know, and then you can bring things that's from your culture that people can resonate with. And
this is another reason why I enjoy Sanskritam, because it's actually, when you look at the words, whilst they might be describing, or they might have a certain relationship to certain cultural, I don't know, pictures or whatever practices, actually, when you look at the words, they're actually, it's not so much about an image as it is about a certain resonance. And that's essentially what sound is it's describing or putting into some sort of a form a certain type of energy. So in that a sense, it's applicable to everything because you're just describing the same thing. But
Yeah.
don't have to, and that's where when you're saying, oh, you can bring in your own images and stuff, well, yeah, of course you can, but it took me a while to kind of get to that space to think, oh no, how do I work with this, how do I find a way of connecting with it that right for me.
I'm saying more in the sense that, you know, to not go into this, it has to be this way, because then you know, then we go into this, you know, this way and not this way, and there are people who will be this, you know, this way, not that you cannot, you know, have to be this blah, 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 you know, it's very rigid, and I think that's a little bit, that's dangerous if you go, you know, if you go there. And the beauty is that this is a structure how to do it, you know, and this is very clear, and all the steps and everything has a meaning behind it. But I'm just saying, if there are other things that inspire, that comes, not to go like, you know, to say, okay, if it resonates with you, why not, you know?
It definitely makes sense, and that's why I feel certain things like just something like the puja it's very powerful because there's so much in it, as there is with a lot of Sanskritam, and that I can't appreciate that. I can, at the moment, I just read the words, I make the sound, and that's all I can hope to do, and that's okay. And then, you know, I know that there's more in there. I know it. You can't not know it, I don't think. But
yeah, it's amazing. It's very amazing. All right, maybe we should stop here. Maybe this is enough. This was new for you, right? This part was new. Yeah, okay, good. So then Alice got a little bit new, and then Ariane, you also had that last part because you missed last week. And then we got the food. Yeah, getting there. And then we can do a whole 16-step puja together. I know Sylvia wanted to she was moving into a house, and she wanted to have initiation in her house. So I can check with her. Maybe we can have a 16-step puja for her new house to make it a good. She wanted to have a good energy place. So maybe if you want to come, we can do it together.
Yeah. Thank you.
Alrighty. Anybody feels inspired to do the swasti? Ariane, I can see you looking at. You want to do it, Ariane? Yes.
I try.
Yes.
Oh, swasti prajabhyah paripalayantyam nyayena margena mahisaha go brahmanebhyah subhamastu nityam loka samasta sukhino bhavantu kale varsatu parjanaha prithvi visasasalini deso yang sobarahitaha Ramanan santu nirmayaha Om sarvesa swastir bhavatu sarvesa santir bhavatu sarvesa purnam bhavatu sarvesa mangalam bhavatu sarve bhavatu sukinaha sarve santu niramayaha sarve bhadrani pasyantu ma kaccitu kabak bhavet Om asatu ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotir gamaya pratyoma amartam gamaya Om purnamedam purna mudhyachyate purnasya purnameva vasisyate Om santi Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.
Beautiful. Well done. Okay, I see you tomorrow. Samskritam.
See you tomorrow. Om.
Om.